we're getting the sequel to Fallen Order, which is Survivor,
Yes.
which is apparently set 10 years into the Empire, right around the same time as Kenobi.
Yes.
And obviously, Cal Kestis is an actor. I forget the actor's name, but he is an actor.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a character. They've fully got an actor who does the motion capture and everything.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, genuinely, the chances are that we see a live action Cal Kestis towards the end of Kenobi?
So
It just 10 years feels very specific,
and it's
especially to be announced during Kenobi.
it also people have already been wishing for this because
Well, you've got the perfect person, haven't you?
yeah, and it was in Book of Boba Fett. This isn't really a spoiler to that. There's the little BD-1, the little droid that Cal has in Fallen Order. Whether it's the same one or it's at least the same model of drone appears in Book of Boba Fett, and everyone's like, ooh, that's like the one in Fallen Order. Also, the fact that we have Inquisitors, and the Inquisitors are a huge thing in the game. I think my prediction is I would love that we get a full live action reveal of him, at the end or partway.
To save Kenobi.
Yeah,
because you can't have Kenobi legitimately beating Vader at his prime. You've just got to have Kenobi scutters off alive.
Yeah, it's good. There'll either be some cross between their paths, or my other prediction that maybe is more likely because we don't know necessarily what they want to do with the storyline in the second game. Obviously, in the first one, he never met Kenobi. They kind of got to keep that sort of canon going. Is I wonder if there's some, not necessarily a throwaway, but talk of from the Inquisitor side that they're hunting and they describe Cal and this Jedi that's trying to rebuild something and they talk about him, or information gets given to Obi-Wan and it describes Cal and a ship that is Jedi survivors.
And this goes back to again that they're kind of painted into a corner because of everything we've got. Cal kind of has to die.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he would have been a part of the rebellion during episode 4, 5, and 6.
Yep.
So he kind of has to die. And they've only got 9 years left to do it in.
Yeah. It's the same issue.
9 years, is it?
Well, he wasn't in Rogue One either.
No, but it's not even. I'm not even talking about that. But the 19 years. So the 9 years from Kenobi would be the end of episode 6. That took place over 3 years, I think.
Yeah, true.
So in reality, he's only got 5 or 6 years to die. So he might well die in this next game, which is ironic because it's called Survivor.
That is a very solid point. There's obviously there's a lot of Star Wars can do to get around some of that stuff of characters not being in the films, which is how they've managed to pull characters, because there's a lot of time they've kind of played it off as, oh, they're in the back, they're never shown, their ship of these characters is shown or something, so people go, oh, they were there, we just never got to see them in the films or something. But someone like Cal, it's kind of hard to do because he is Jedi.
Everyone was losing their mind because they had Luke who knew how to use a little bit of the Force and had a lightsaber. Could you imagine if they had someone like Cal who legitimately received Jedi training as a child and had a double-ended lightsaber? News like that would get about.
But you have also got to take into account we've got Ahsoka, and Ahsoka was nowhere in the original films, but they've managed to explain that because
she gave. Because she's a grey Jedi, isn't she?
Well,
so she doesn't give a fuck about these dumb arguments about who's in charge.
Yeah, so she gave up on the Jedi Order and left it, which is how they kind of got around it through Clone Wars.
Because Ahsoka doesn't really subscribe to the Empire or the Republic that was there before. She's kind of, you're all just making this very political, just leave me the fuck alone. I'm going to do what I think is right.
She's more for the people.
Yeah.
And
so unless during Jedi Survivor, Cal also becomes a Grey Jedi, well, and they're not that common, so having two cutting about at a very similar point in time is a little bit rough.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be the case. I think you'll get some tie-in to him and into Rogue One and sort of like that Rebels. Like maybe he's someone that shows up in Ahsoka series.
Maybe. I just want a live action Cal Kestis because he's fucking awesome character.
I think there is a high chance. I think it kind of comes down to, and Disney will know what probably the story is for the next game.
Like I imagine so.
Because that will all have to kind of be discussed and planned into the canon nowadays. So they'll have probably some idea if they do, like if they really do want to bring him to live action, which I hope they do. Like there'll be a plan there. But yeah, maybe it's in Obi-Wan as a throwaway thing, or he does actually show up, or maybe it's in Ahsoka. Because obviously the Ahsoka series, which has started production now, or filming, is set, as far as I know, is set right after Rebels. So it's the same period of time.
Or maybe even, like you said, in a throwaway sense, Vader sends the Inquisitors who are there to help him capture Kenobi away to deal with the other Jedi, who is Cal.
Yeah.
And that's what then leaves us with Obi-Wan versus Vader. And whatever happens there, Vader assumes Obi-Wan is dead. No one's there to say he's not dead, which is why then Vader seems a bit confused in episode 4 when Obi-Wan is still alive.